Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, April 27th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And without further ado, let's get into the news. Paige never thought that WWE would clear her to wrestle again. As you know, she made her return at WrestleMania last week. She did wrestle in AEW for the last 3 years, won the Women's World Championship at Allin about 2 years ago. So they cleared her, which means obviously WWE will clear her at this point. Big Damo, the artist formerly known as Killian Dane, has signed with Major League Wrestling. He has joined the Contra faction, and he's already made several appearances, and he's scheduled to be at the tapings in Chattanooga, New York, and Philly. It's good news. AEW is no longer on Triller. This was obviously going to happen with them creating My AEW. Triller was the longtime host and home for AEW overseas, and Triller's been going through some financial upheaval, so we'll see what goes on with them. Talent and the WWE were very, very frustrated over not only the match times but the ads. I broke it down last week, but on night one of WrestleMania, there was only 39% of actual bell-to-bell action, and on night two, there was only 38% of bell-to-bell action. That means less than half of your show was ads, entrances, and commercials. That sucks. And if I was talent, I'd be rightfully frustrated too. There's no reason for the WWE not being able to put on more matches and longer matches. Now, the Champions 2026 will be returning to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It will be going down Saturday, June 27th. Night of Champions becomes kind of an important show, and the last couple have been in Saudi Arabia. WWE is also targeting, they have 2 weekend dates in mind for WrestleMania 43, which also will be in Saudi Arabia next year. They're looking at either the weekend of April 10th or the weekend of March 27th, depending on certain things that will go down. Evil, the former New Japan star, has officially signed with the WWE. He is a former IWGP heavyweight champion, and he will be making his start in NXT. Triple H has signed a new deal with the WWE and will be remaining the head of creative, and he has the full backing support of not only Ari Emanuel but Nick Khan. And I touched on this with the Top Rope News segment on last Friday, but there were a bevy of releases this past Friday. It sucked. Let me go over the list for you one more time on who was cut. The list includes Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, Kairi Sane, which was the most shocking one of all, every single member of the YS6, Santos Escobar, the Motor City Machine Guns, Apollo Crews, Andre Chase, Zoe Stark, Alba Fyre, Tyra May Steele, Serena Litton, Tyson DuPont, Tariq Igwe, Chris Island, Malik Blade, Trill London, Luca Crucifino, and over the weekend, Carly Bright as well. This sucked when people lose their job, but obviously the most shocking news here was Kairi Sane. The reason behind the releases were for twofold. Some people weren't getting used, and SmackDown's apparently going back to 2 hours. A lot of these people were on the SmackDown roster, and there have been call-ups. But you're in charge. You get to use some of these people. On the injury side of things, we got an update on Cody Rhodes. He has a major blackout, but he'll be fine. Trey Miguel has a broken patella after his match with Mustafa Ali. We do not know how long he will be out, but he will be sidelined with that injury. Sean Legacy gave us an update on his injury. He's on crutches and he's starting to walk just a little bit better. Steve Macklin has been cleared to compete after his injury at Sacrifice. Jack Hartwell has been sidelined with an arm injury. We don't know how long he will be out. Jamie Hayter will be cleared in about a week or two after her just brutal match with Thekla. We got a positive update on Buddy Matthews. He is looking to return in the next couple of months. It's been 14 months since we've seen him in action. This is good news. And Noam Dar has made his return. The former Heritage Cup holder returned at an NXT live event in Dade City. But that is the news. I'm Super right back with the weekend review. All right, weekend review. You know how we do. This is the WrestleMania Fallout show. Monday Night Raw. We started off with Oba Finn. First of all, the show gets a fist. It was fine. And we usually expect the Raw after WrestleMania to be a really big show. It has not been like that over the last couple of years, but I digress. Oba Finn comes out and says the ruler has arrived. That is it. That is all you need. This is akin to, remember when Roman Reigns defeated Taker and came out and said, "This is my yard." There you go. Michael Cole questioned whether this was a missed opportunity to speak on his major victory. Asuka was what Kyrie said. You know, she chose a fake family over her real one. She mocked Io for losing everything while Rhea really became champion. Kyrie just stood silently behind. Rhea and Io took on the Kabuki Warriors in a solid match. Because, you know, these four women are just incapable of having bad matches. But ultimately, Kyrie took most of the damage. She got hit with a riptide, hit with the over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Rio get their last match before officially splitting up. Asuka was upset at Kyrie for losing, getting that pinfall. Well, getting pinned. Adam Pearce congratulated Penta on his win, and Javon said he wanted next. Ethan Page made his Raw debut. And Ethan mocked Javon for needing 2 tries to win the Aussie title. Pierce booked well. Ethan versus Javon Evans. CM Punk was in the ring. We talked about his loss and losing people over, just like the last year. He lost his dog, Duke Rufus, people that work behind the scenes, and he's staying ready to get another opportunity. That he's proved he's still the best even in defeat, and he won't sulk and take time off. Cody Rhodes came out. And Cody was like, yo, I was expecting something different. And Punk's like, no. I mean, you beat a legend. You beat Randy Orton. You beat someone you hate who's also your friend and your mentor. And I won't be a loser. And this pretty much just set up a potential program between the two. Finn Balor said JD McDonough chose Dominic over him and he'll make him pay. Ethan Page took on Javon Evans. Ethan made his Raw debut. He got the win after catching Javon in the midair and dropped him with a twisted grin. After the match, Rusev attacked Javon. And Ethan Page was like, "This ain't my business. I'm out." He shoved Penta, who came out to help, and Rusev continued to assault after Ethan almost got involved. Liv Morgan had her championship celebration, which was interrupted by Ruca making her debut, and she called Liv an inspiration and congratulated her and refused to back down. So we are going to get this match, and this was good. You know what I mean? Liv dominated early with a corner strikes and a running knee, but Ruca countered that with an X Factor, dropped a cold breaker on her, and she was about to get the W, going for the Soul Snatcher until Zaria attacked her from behind and allowing Liv to hit the Oblivion. Stephanie Vaquer walked out to confront Liv on the ramp while Zaria continued to beat up on Ruca. And of course they had their last women's standing match on NXT. We got the Vision, Paul Heyman, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. Heyman demanded production move Lesnar from the now part to the forever part, calling him the baddest man in the planet, hyping up his quote-unquote retirement. Logan blamed Ospreay Speed for the WrestleMania loss, and then they brought out Braun Breaker. Seth attacked Breaker with a chair, and we're not done with these two. JD McDonough said he and Balor were supposed to be family. He accused Finn of taking cues from Punk and abandoning him. He said he defended Finn for 20 years and would do it again, and claimed he's done living in Finn's shadow, which leads us to their match. And these two dudes were really good together. I wish this match was longer. I wish these two got more time to show out, but ultimately Finn won with the coup de grace. Dom attacked after the match until Finn tried fighting back, but Dom overwhelmed him and the Judgment Day stood tall. Gunther said he was satisfied with his WrestleMania W, and he clarified that there's no me and Heyman, and Heyman simply owes him, which makes me think Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in Minnesota. LA Knight interrupted him with a few words, and Gunther smirked but didn't back down from him. Ripley, Rhea, and Io officially departed ways, and Rhea crossed paths with Liv, and said they'll be seeing each other real soon. They are both champions again. Roman Reigns arrived in the main event segment. He had his cousins with him, Jay and Jimmy, and he told the Usos he missed their trust, he missed their respect and love, and he says he wasn't asking them to serve him, just to stand by him. Jimmy said he speaks for Jay, and they will always acknowledge Roman as their tribal chief. Like, we're really doing the bloodline again. Yeah, shockingly, Jacob Fatu came out. Jacob said he doesn't want to be tribal chief. He just wants the title. He needs the title to provide for his family. And Roman said he'll give you a week to think about it, calling him little cousin, and told the Usos to talk some sense into him. All right. Over on Dynamite, the show gets a thumbs up. This was Darby's first Dynamite as champion, and we were supposed to be celebrating his win. You know what I mean? But MJF stormed the ring, called the loss the Seattle Screwjob, blaming Aubrey Edwards, a fast count, and a low blow. Mind you, he low blowed Darby first, and he demanded Darby return the title, but he was interrupted by Kevin Knight. And the Jet, who is the current TNT champion, also staked claim for coming for the for the World Championship. And he and MJF got into it, and the Jet got goaded into putting his TNT title on the line. That match will be going down next week. Part of me thinks that MJF's going to win. And remember, Darby said if MJF wants another championship match, he's got to put something on the line. Well, TNT title, that's good. I don't want them to unify the championships. That's one thing I do not want them to do. We were backstage with Renee, the Gates of Agony, and Ricochet and Jericho. And Ricochet said no one wants to see him because he's the guy who gets his ass beat by the Demand every week. He shows up, and Jericho said, well, I trademarked that. But I got some partners, and you'll find out who they are later in the evening. The first match was Brody King versus the new and improved Lio Rush. What? At some point, they got to explain a little bit what Lio Rush is going on. But people also have to start being scared of him. Like Pac and Daniel Garcia did it well. Brody was like, nah, but Leo put up a good fight. But Brody ultimately got the W. He said he'd be watching the match for later in the evening. Congratulated Ciampa if he wins, but also Darby. He's got next. Ciampa is prepared. He's doing this for his friends, his family. He's a husband, a father, son, a brother, and he will be relentless in his pursuit of the championship. Adam Cole issued an open challenge. He and Christian said, look, New York Street Fight, double or nothing, and put the tag team titles on the line. He says, listen, accept it. Ball's in your court. We'll put our careers on the line. Shida took on Mina Shirakawa. This was solid, little sloppy at times, but these two had a really good rapport with each other. Ultimately, Shida got the one with the high knee, followed by the Falcon Arrow, but it's not over between these two. We got a hype for the International Championship match going down at Double or Nothing, where I will be in attendance. Okada and Takeshita. Then we were backstage with the Bullet Club. It says my script says Bullet Club Gold. It is actually the Dogs who attacked the Young Bucks. This was a recap for what went down last week. And with Gabe Kidd out, Clark Connors and David Finlay are also in play for the tag team titles. Then we had Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis, and really solid match. Really good match. Mark Davis has been a true MVP since the start of the year, and a surprise. Mark Davis got the win. He delivered a power driver on the apron leading to the doctors to stopping the match and awarding Mark Davis the W. As the doctor was checking in on him, Mark Davis grabs Ospreay, brings it back in the ring, and he's going to murder him again until he's confronted by Death Riders, and he's surrounded, and he puts Ospreay down and leaves because he doesn't want to get murdered by the Death Riders, and the Death Riders take Ospreay away. Intrigue, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Hayter hasn't been clear, so Alec Windsor's looking for a partner just to go up against the Triangle of Madness, and Persephone steps up, and so they'll team together up on Collision. Samoa Joe made his return, got a quick W. Easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I wish it would have kind of like hyped up his return, but it's cool. Samoa Joe is back. We got a montage for Darby Allin. Jericho has found him some partners because it's not personal. It's just business. And his partners are the Hurt Syndicate. And they'll be taking on the man on Collision. We were in the ring with Darby for his celebration. He's, the ride could end at any moment. His ring is for his friends, his family. He climbed Everest, so he's putting the title up on the line every single week. MJF came out, demanded a championship match multiple times, and Darby was like, no. So if you want something, put something on the line. That's where we get the TNT title match. Ciampa came out, whispered something in MJF's ear as he's making way to his back, and gave him a kiss on the cheek, and then this brutal, super crazy, awesome championship match. Darby Allin with the title on the line against Tommaso Ciampa. Man, just both bleeding, both beating the holy hell out of each other. I thought Darby died after Ciampa hit an avalanche, not Psycho Driller, air raid crash from the top of the ropes to the floor, but ultimately Darby got the win with the seatbelt pin. Got that leverage. No, I forget the name of his pin finisher. It's not the seatbelt pin, it's the coffin or something, but great match. After the match, Brody King came out, congratulated Ciampa, and said, Tony Khan says I got next, so the title's on the line next week. Over on Impact, we are fighting the System. The show gets a fist. First match was Nick Nemeth, who is a face now, is a good guy now. He took on Bear Bronson of the System. Nick got the win after hitting the danger zone. Backstage, we were with Rich Swann and BDE. Swann said he worked hard for his TNA Championship match tonight, and BDE agreed to stay in the back. We got an Elijah concert where he was parodying Kazarian. We had a fake Elijah. It was actually Kazarian doing this concert, and they got into it. Elijah choked Kazarian and took the guitar, played a song of his own. He challenged Kazarian to a match. We were backstage with EC3, who responded to Eric Young. EC3 wore a chair around his neck to mock the attack he had received last week, and he said he welcomed the violence from Eric Young, and he said he returned to TNA to finish what he started, and he promised to face Eric Young head on. We got Tessa Blanchard in the Undead Realm. She said that experience changed her. Mila and Victoria agreed that they weren't the same, and Tessa said Rosemary Eric Crew will face them next week in their world. Okay. All right. The commentary is like, what is going on? Matt Hardy took on Dutch. Dutch got the W after using the distraction to hit the Boss Man Slam. After the match, Dutch continued attacking Matt until Jeff Hardy made the save, dropped him with a Swanton bomb, and Dutch retreated. The Elegance brand met up with Daria Ray, and they noticed Santino Marella is still suspended. The concierge hyped Mr. Elegant's future as a champion. Ash asked for a match next week, and Daria agreed. But she also thinks the world remembers Santino's out in real life. He had an injury. He's had surgery, I think dental surgery. I forget, it was last week. We had the injury report. This was on Cass, Trey Miguel, Leon Slater, Mike Santana, and Rich Swann laying Lee in front of Zaya Brookside about why she just turned on her. Lee apologized for her English and said she loved wrestling in TNA, and Zaria was her good friend, and Zaria entered wearing all black and blamed Lee for costing her the title by showing her the video of her father. Zaria said Lee didn't understand the pressure of being a second generation star. Just go and join Birthright, okay? Zaria cried since she was alone in the country until she met Lee. Lee cried until she met Zaria. Zaria accepted Lee's apology and then immediately attacked her, telling her we are done and dropping her with a DDT. Katie Arquette took on Elena Black. Quick squash for Elena. Got the W. Dropped her with the running knee and the black out. Ali's International Open Challenge. Ali and Order 4 welcome wrestlers for the Open Challenge. And Ali tapped the screen that landed on the Australian flag. And Adam Brooks was selected as his opponent. Brooks said it was a privilege, and Ali smiled approvingly. The system responded with Bear Bronson was upset about losing the nickname with Cedric and Leon Slater. Cedric said Leon Slater cheated and he deserved another title shot. Eddie Edwards said the system fixes all their mistakes, and Alicia nodded in agreement. Main event, Mike Santana put the championship on the line against Rich Swann in an awesome match. Go check this joint out, ladies and gentlemen. Swann won. Swann had the destroyer. He didn't win. He had the destroyer, but Santana countered that pin and dropped him with a spin to block. Just a really, really good match. They show respect to each other after the match. This was good, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Swann does not get enough credit for how talented he truly is. Over on SmackDown, this was the WrestleMania Fallout show. This show gets a fifth. This also took place on Black Friday with we had all those releases that were just going on throughout the show. But we started off, with the usual stuff of showing what happened at WrestleMania, and then we opened up with Jacob, the Usos, and Solo. Jacob said, look. Roman told him that I wasn't ready. That's not true. Jimmy said Jacob could have everything he wanted just by joining the OTC and letting Cody fumble the ball. I can't believe we're doing the bloodline again. Jay said Jacob opened his mouth and now must swim in the deep water. Solo interrupted saying he fought Fatu. He brought Fatu to the WWE, and the Usos had nothing to teach him. Fatu challenged Solo, and I was like, well, remember it, dog. Every match we've had, I've won. We were Kiana and Julia. Kathy asked her about the U.S. title match against Tiffany, and Julia said this was the SmackDown after Mania, not WrestleMania itself, and said that they were disrespected about being left off WrestleMania. Julia seemed skeptical of James's negotiating skills, and James saying they only bicker when Kelly's around. Kelly said she felt like they caught a stray. Well, she caught a stray. This led us into Julia putting her Women's United States Championship on the line, and in a not so surprising result, Tiffany Stratton won. They're probably going to use this to push the U.S. title. Again, Julia ends her second reign just like the first one unceremoniously. It would not shock me if she's in AEW by the end of the year. I'm just saying. We got a scare with Danhausen and Miz. Miz is still cursed. Danhausen ended up at the Miz's house. Tiffany interrupted Paige and Brie. Brie welcomed Paige back and said she stepped up, but Charlotte and Alexa also won a shot. So women's tag team titles were on the line. This match went to a no contest as, ladies and gentlemen, Fatal Influence made their appearance, their arrival, and took out everybody in this match and stood tall. One of the call-ups that we were just talking about earlier in the show. Cody addressed the universe and said, look, he left WrestleMania battered, beaten. He feels like a loser, but he'll never take losers lane. He said Orton taught him everything and he had to beat him. He addressed Sammy's Golden Boy combos, saying that he wore gold to show he, his family, and his friends are gold. Cody warned outside influences are interfering in his WrestleMania plans. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. TKO, and they are 0-3. Even though, bro, you lost to John Cena. So yeah, you actually lost to Roman too the first time. But these outside forces should mind their business, and he is easy to find, but hard to beat. Solo was with his MFT, and he told Mateo time to bring the tag titles back to the family. Damian Priest and Truth put the titles on the line against JC Mateo and Tama Tonga. There was Tonga Loa was accompanying them. There was no Tala Tonga, and it feels like they're just keeping him kind of strong. But ultimately, Priest and Truth retained the championship. We got more shenanigans with The Miz and Danhausen, and Danhausen escaped on The Miz's daughter, calling it Miz's daughter's bike and calling it a spaceship. We got Trick Williams celebration with Lil Yachty. He was celebrating with Yachty and the Gingerbread Man. Of course, it was revealed that the Gingerbread Man is Sami Zayn, who attacked Trick and Yachty. Royce Keys was backstage with Solo. Solo made him an offer to join the MFT. Miz took on Danhausen, and Danhausen won with a roll-up. This was just shenanigans, pyro and smoke, and him going under the ring, and Kit Wilson getting involved. Crazy. We got a Blake Monroe vignette, so she will be coming to SmackDown. Rhea Ripley was confronted by Fatal Influence, and Rhea's like, if anybody wants a shot, come and get it. Well, Fatal Influence came out, and JC told the fans to shut up. We're going to run SmackDown. Rhea said, put your money where your mouth is, and they have a match. Rhea took on JCG, and of course, you know how this was going to end. Rhea won by DQ because obviously Fatal Influence attacked, and Rhea doesn't have any friends anymore. They stand tall, especially after JC hit Rhea with the rolling encore. Jacob was with the Usos, and he warmed up to the Usos having his back, but he's still coming for Roman. Charlotte told Bliss she get her hands on Jay next week. Unlike some people, Rhea walked in as Charlotte left, and Bliss told Ripley, it's not you, she's just like that. Ripley smirked and said nothing. We got a vignette for Ricky Saints, who will also be making his SmackDown debut. And in the main event, so Sokoa took on a Jacob Fatu. Wade Barrett said, Solo brought Fatu into WWE where others avoided him due to his past. Because, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, Solo, for the most part, has always treated his bloodline better than whatever Roman has done with his bloodline. Ultimately, Jacob Fatu got the win, taking out the MFT and dropping Solo with the Mighty Moonsaults. After the match, the MFT tried attacking. No Tala Tonga because Jacob Fatu defeated all of the MFT here, and they didn't want him to go through Tala Tonga. Over on Collision, this show gets a fist with a surprising main event result. FTR opened up the show and said, look, you know what? We'll counter your offer with an offer. We accept your challenge for Double or Nothing, but this has to be an I Quit stipulation. So this is an I Quit street fight, tag titles versus your careers. Balls in your court. Trios championships were on the line as the conglomeration put the titles on the line against the Don Callis family members of Lance Archer, Hato Shadow, and Andrade. And we're gonna do a show a little bit later in a week about what I would do to not necessarily fix AEW, but just some tweaks that would very much improve the company. But Archer, Cesaro, and Andrade put the challenge for the titles. This was a fun match, but ultimately the high-low combo of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong got the W. The conglomeration retained the championships. Then we got the most intriguing thing that happened all week. The Death Riders brought in Ospreay. Marina fixed his neck. And Mox questioned what Ospreay is trying to do. He said, your body will break down. You got to choose a path. You keep trying to run through a brick wall when there's a door right there. It was never personal for you and I only want what's best for you and for this company. He slid Ospreay a chair, laid face down, said, do what you got to do. And Ospreay shoved the camera away. This is such good stuff because the mission has been the same going back to the Blackpool Combat Club, ladies and gentlemen. It's always been the same. We want what's best for everybody in that locker room, and the company as a whole, and we do not care if we have to be the bad guys. It's just good stuff. It's just good stuff. The Death Riders then teamed up with the Dusty on the Young Bucks and the Rascals in a great match. I really enjoyed this. Ultimately, the Death Riders and the Dogs won after went to the top rope cutter on David Finlay, but Connor speared him into a suplex up and got the W. Mina shook house with Harley. Mina and Harley demanded an apology from Shida. Shida refused and said Harley would never be on their level. The argument escalated, so I know we're going to get a tag match. Harley was with Shida, and Harley was with Mina, and Shida was with Stat. And Harley's insulted Ed Japanese, which threw Shida off. This led into Chris Statlander was taking on Becca. And for those of you that watch, you know what I was thinking with this match. Chris was always going to win. Chris won with the Saturday Night Fever, but Becca walked, and acted like Carmella, dressed like her. And I'm watching the show with my buddy, and I'm like, yo, this chick's just Carmella. And then she did the Code of Silence, Carmella's finisher, and Stat reversed it. It's been a big thing all weekend. Mega Bayne and Allin across said they're ready for Stat and Sheet, and he promised to dominate the division. And we'll put the titles on the line this coming week on Dynamite. Ruca defeated Adam Priest in a solid match. Adam got some offense in because this wasn't a squash match, but Ruca ultimately got the W with the Bull's horns. We had a video of back and forth between Takeshita and Okada, and it's pretty much hyped their Double or Nothing match, which I'm very much looking forward to. Sky Blue and Tekla took on Persephone and Alex Windsor. Blue started the match off, but ultimately Windsor and Persephone used their power to really control things until Julia Hart got involved, hit Persephone with the mist, allowing Sky Blue hit the Cold Blue and got the W. I'm loving this result just because I think, as always, bona fide teams should always beat singles competitors that come together. The teams. Willow Nightingale's leaning into her comeback killer persona. Camille, Queen Aminata, Cheetah. Who else is next? I'm probably expecting a Britt Baker return and a Nyla. I'm just all for it. Anthony Bowens wanted to know if he was a part of the ops. He kept chiding Hook. Then Joe said, listen, we have no more vacancies because you're in. We'll see where this goes. I'm hoping this leads to the ops versus a reformed, acclaimed. Don't forget about my man Max. Jack Perry put the national championship on the line against Al Clone, and Al Clone is just super, super dope. I cannot wait for Hologram to come back. We can really get this feud kicking up into high gear. Ultimately, Jack Perry won with the running knee in our main event. Chris Jericho teamed with the Hurt Syndicate to take on the Demand. MVP was on commentary, and this was just business. Ultimately, though, Bishop Tay Leone pulled the walls of Jericho to the ropes, and Ricochet dropped Jericho with a low blow and hit him with the Rico Salt, and the Demand gets the W. I like this. Let's see where this goes, where this leads into our matches of the week. From NXT, Zaria versus Sol Ruca in that last woman standing match. That's good stuff right there. From Dynamite, Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay, and of course the World Championship match between Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa. From Impact, Mike Santana versus Rich Swann for the TNA World Championship. From All-Star Stardom, Grand Queendom, we got a triple of matches. Vida Loca versus the High Hate in a hardcore tag team match. Syuri versus Megan Bayne for the IWGP Women's Championship, and Sayaka Kurara versus Saya Kamitani for the World of Stardom Championship. This might have been my favorite match of the entire weekend. The star of the week, I gotta go give it to Sayaka for becoming your new World of Stardom champion. That was a big win for her. Really a shocking result as a whole, as Stardom has a new champion. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen we got coming up. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.